Christianity is a minority religion in China, accounting to only 1 to 2% of the total population. However, there is a certain region in southwestern China where it is a majority. In some areas here, around 70 to 80% could be Christians, and in some villages, Christians could make up 90% of the local population. This is the Nujiang Lisu Autonomous Prefecture, located in Yunnan province of southwestern China, along the China-Myanmar border. It has been long plagued by poverty and is Yunnan province's poorest region, largely due to extreme isolation. Because its geography is very elongated, its regions are extremely disconnected, making travel between different counties extremely hard. It centers on the Shaowing River Valley, also known as the Nujiang, with travel time by car between counties taking up hours of time, long hampering local improvement on the economy. But Christianity spread here since the late 19th century and became a key defining part of local culture. The main ethnicity here is the Lisu, making up roughly half of the local population, while the Han Chinese also make up a significant minority. There are two peoples indigenous to the area alongside the Lisu. They are the Dulong and the Nu, who also embraced Christianity. And so that's where we shall explore today, along with its exquisite beauty brought by the beautiful Shaowing River, the longest undammed river in Southeast Asia. Let's see you there. Guys, I've just arrived at the city of Lushui, the capital of Lujiang Lisu Autonomous Prefecture. I'm at this hotel, the biggest hotel, kind of like the biggest hotel in the region, and it's now the afternoon. I've just finished dinner here, pretty good, and we shall go check out the river scenery of the Shaowing, the Nujiang River, and we can explore this city during the evening. Well, I've just taken a car ride north of the city of Lushui, and we are going to visit a local bathing house where people basically you could wash your feet and stuff. It is a cultural site of the Lisu people. The ride to Lushui was very scenic, and the ride to here is also very scenic because the entire road into the city and out of the city is along the Mujiang River. These are the pools they bathe in right beside the riverside. Look at the river over here, the blue river that runs along this valley. The local indigenous Lisu people just live on these mountains, and the city is dominated by the Han Chinese people. They are accustomed to mountain life. And over here is the first time I have a language barrier in China because I've tried to ask directions from three local Lisu people, and they can't understand me, I can't understand them. Very interesting. They speak a distinctive language. Over here you have a sense of what their language is like. This is their language characters, co-created by a British missionary, James Fraser, and a Burmese missionary. This is the old Lisu script and is still widely in use today. And this is built on this hill. So during Chinese New Year, the local people would come, build tents, and celebrate over here. These mountains are tall and quite barren. It's there's a road running along this mountain. It's very hard to build roads on these mountains, and they just line this entire river valley. To climb down to these pools, you will have to go through a dirt road, which is not in the best condition, but it's still passable nonetheless. I didn't go bathe in there because, it never gets clean when there are a lot of people bathing in there. And even though the water is from the mountains, I still feel sketchy about the hygiene of this area. So I'll just breathe in this view over here, which is nonetheless very impressive. This entire region is pretty underrated because it's not really on everybody's top bucket list, but the scenery here is very nice, and I hope to learn more about this exquisite cultural enclave within China. Tents along the road awaiting Chinese New Year. A lot of them have already entered into here. Look at this dirt road. I think it is time for us to leave and go somewhere else, probably back to the city. The sun is about to set soon. Well, I'm back into the city of Lushui. On the way, I saw a church. Didn't have time to stop and film there, but I did see the entrance to one. Very interesting. I hope to learn more about this place as I walk here. The mountains here are insanely high, and the city is just built upon the slope. This slope is gentle in comparison with other slopes, which are extremely high and steep. The people who live in these apartment blocks are mostly Lisu people who work in the government and governmental institutions, because this is an autonomous prefecture. The Lisu people rule over here. And now I'm gonna go get some dinner. I just finished dinner in this restaurant. It was pretty good. Now I will probably be going down to the riverside. And the sky is gradually getting dark. It gets dark earlier over here because of the mountains, but it's still more than enough for walking around. And it's less hot, less warmer. It was extremely hot during the day because of the sun. Now that the sun is partially down, it can be cooler, so we will go to the riverside and take a little walk around the city. The museums over here all have a very bad rating for some certain reason. I don't know. There is a cultural museum in the city. Its rating is like 2 out of 5, which is extremely low. And there is another museum for the New people. And number 1, it's very far away, 80 kilometers. That's like 50 miles, 2.5-hour drive away through the mountains. And its rating is also very low, 2.5 out of 5, extremely low. So we will see what we can do in this city. I'm here at the Shaoying River bank, the river of Lujiang. Look at the opposite side. This little road built along the riverside, along the cliffside. There's the highway higher up over there, built even higher up on the hillside. These mountains are extremely hard to climb, and there are these mountainside villages up there over top. They are the indigenous people live over there because they are suited to local mountain life, and so they don't really come down to the city except for people who work in governmental institutions. And over here are houses by the riverside. Probably not cheap, but I don't think it's pretty expensive compared to larger cities. Riverside Square of Nujiang. Look at this. A lot of high-rise buildings. That's the government over there. The governmental headquarters of the Nujiang Lisu Autonomous Prefecture. These buildings here are all very tall. I guess there's like no earthquakes here because elsewhere in the province there are earthquake belts, and so literally like no high-rise buildings. At least not this high. And over there it's mountains after mountains, layered after layered. And over here it gets more clear. The cliffside. This place is very narrow, wedged along this river valley between mountains on this side and mountains on that side. So this city is pretty narrow. Literally from here, it runs along. This street cuts right across the city. Behind the governmental building are the slopes leading up the mountain. Well, this concludes my day over here in Lujiang. Tomorrow we shall go explore more of this city, I guess. I took a quick stroll around the place this evening. It is already night now. It's very tiring to walk around here because everything is like on the hills or slopes. Very tiring. Wow, good morning. Today for breakfast I ate some local Yunnan noodles, and then I took a taxi up this mountain, one of the highest in the region. And oh my goodness, the road is super steep. Didn't film it, but it was extremely steep. Just look at how steep this is and imagine it more steeper. And there are a lot of villages along the steep mountainside. This is one of them. At like the top of the mountain. These villages are dominated by the Lisu people. It's pretty hard to drive up the mountain, and it's expensive if you want to come up here. The fees are extremely high. So let's go explore this place. There's a bookstore over here. A very interesting one. We will explore this place as our final destination in the city because I have to leave it today. Very sad. The city of Lushui is down in the valley below. There's a river over there and some villages dotting the mountainside. Wow, these mountains are extremely high, very high. It's wondrous. So, unfortunately, my time here is very limited, so I can't go northwards into the countryside, the counties of Fugong and the Gongshan, Dulong and Nu autonomous counties. They are all pretty interesting and even more rural, way up north, upstream. And I don't have the time to explore there. And touching about the topic of Christianity in the Nujiang region, it's like this. So, way back in the late 19th, early 20th centuries, a British missionary, James Fraser, he came through British Burma all the way to the Chinese city of Tanchong. We visited the place 2 episodes ago, I guess. Just check out my playlist featuring my Yunnan province travels, I guess. And so he tried to evangelize the local Han Chinese. Didn't go so well, so he just packed up his bags, went through these thick mountains, and came over here to the Nujiang region to preach to the Lisu people. Already back then, this region is one of the poorest in the province. One of the factors is remoteness. Another factor is also cultural extravagance. So back then, if a well-to-do Lisu family, well-to-do in their sense, pretty poor in our sense, if they got married, they will become extremely poor because of all the costs for marriage. It's extremely high. And in celebrations, they will also have too much wine and smoke that will also cost astronomical amounts of money. A lot of times they have to sell their fellow family members into slavery to cover up the debt. So when the Christian missionaries came, especially Fraser, they brought up a new regulation that when you get married for free in the church, so no costs. When you have celebrations, you don't smoke, you don't drink wine, you can only drink tea, which is not addictive and healthier. Wow, look at this. Is this corn? This is a local village house, a lot, along with others over here. Anyways, so these new regulations helped regulate the local economy, making the Christian Lisu people richer than the other non-Christian Lisu people. And so that is why they embraced Christianity as a whole. And Fraser also developed a Lisu script along with a Burmese missionary. And so this script, based on the Latin script, became deeply rooted into local memory. Wow, village life over here. And even now it's used. A Lisu man who is opposed to the missionaries tried to develop his own system of Lisu writing, didn't really get popularized, and the government tried to make one, didn't get popularized either. So that that is kind of how this place came to be under Christian evangelization. Although now it has gradually declined, I believe it's still pretty high up in the counties of Fugong and Gongshan. And sadly, I can't go up into the countryside to learn more about them. But this is just some of my research on this topic. I found the village church. Every village in this area has a church, I think, and I found the church in this village. It looks a little bit deserted, but I think it is still used, at least according to the local villagers. I found a local villager who is a Christian. Oh, very interesting. Christianity has been sadly on decline in this region, especially in the city. I've asked a few local Lisu people in the city. They all denied being Christian or aren't sure. I don't know if they understand me or not. In this village, I've found one who is a Christian and showed me this church. There are more Christians up north in the countryside. I hope one day I can return over here and visit the northern countryside to learn more about the local people. Wow, experienced local hospitality in this village. My taxi driver's friend, who is a local Lisu Christian from this village, invited us to eat barbecue at his a restaurant or something. They killed a pig today and invited us to come partake of it, and it is very good. They are a Christian family of the local Lisu people, so I talked to them a little about their practices. Very interesting. I'm here at the bookstore, the library avant-garde. There are people at the door sign right now, so this is the view from, what's this? A corner of the bookstore, I guess. And you could look down upon the mountain, look at the steepness of this road. This is not the steepest part, but you could feel how steep it is. It is, sorry. And the valley below with the city entrenched beside the river, it's pretty narrow, and a lot of parts go sloping up onto the lower slopes of the mountain. Most of the local people live in mountain villages like this. For example, like over here, down there, and even higher up in the mountain. It's so hard to just climb up this mountain, man. Most local people use motorcycles, others use cars and vans, but you have to have a good driving skill to come up here. Entering the bookstore and seeing and checking out over here. Well, I just spent some time over here. I bought two books at this bookstore, all about the local Lisu language over here. Textbooks about the Lisu language, and it's time for us to leave now. Whew. This will end my trip over here in Nujiang, as I will be heading back into the city to my hotel and getting a car outside of here. So yeah, hopefully one day I will come back and learn more about this place. So if you would like to see more about my Yunnan province travels, just follow my channel playlist and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. Apart from travel videos, I also do geography and culture related and sometimes geopolitical video commentary. So yeah, see you in our next publication.